running behind the schedule, and it is not possible to condense 31 years of work in a few minutes, 60 minutes and all, because right now not less than 50 experts are there in the whole planet who know about this genus, and only 10 groups are actively working, rest are having other interest. In India, in mycology laboratory of Goa University, myself and my very able and now soon to become world famous mycologist Rosie D'Souza, she is submitting her thesis very soon. She has also done a huge amount of work, and she has made historic contributions recently in published papers on this genus. And she will tell you, more than mining, more than tourism, more than the gross state domestic product of Goa, how much this genus is worth as biological wealth. Because we, as Dr. Edward Wilson, sociobiologist and myrmecozoologist, who in 1992 wrote Diversity of Life, and he gave this 4-point program to the whole world. This program was very simple, because we have now 6th biosphere. I must have written at least 4,000 articles on science in 3 or 4 languages since I started writing in 1977. At least one full generation has read my articles. So I'm saturated now with this type of talks. And I'm fed up also with the greed that I see and the corruption that I see and the character I see. Instead of organizing the program, I should have simply administered an oath to all the biodiversity management committee members that do not patronize these wild edible mushrooms, do not harvest them, leave them alone just as you leave turtles and frogs, and do not purchase them, do not cook them. That's the end of it. All the science and everything, you do not have huge workshops and seminars on tigers like this or turtles or frogs, but you have seen how much press they get as compared to these fungi which came much before any of these animal and species. Presently we are in the 6th biosphere. 5 biospheres on Earth have become extinct. And this 6th biosphere would become extinct with our action. And from 1986, it is a journey with these species, where I could see how much I could understand their inner life. Now one species, it's just like this, you go to a termite mound and remove one mushroom. It is very simple act of removing one mushroom, but hundreds of species are dependent on that single mushroom. I did not know this, but today we know it after tremendous amount of research and reference to published literature and other people's work in France, Cameroon, Africa, Republic of South Africa, China. They are doing huge amount of work, but very little awareness is there. We had an Asian Mycological Congress in 2015 where I gave a talk because they knew about my work in Goa. Asian mycologists from 40 countries they had assembled in our Mukherjee Stadium. And I spoke for half an hour, and they were all agreeing, because International Mycological Association is our paternal body of all mycologists. They have resolved to protect fungi in their natural habitat, and they are very much concerned about ethnic craving of people, that I need oimachi bhaji, I need oimachi pole, I need oimachi shakuti. So people of all ages crave, all communities crave for this, purchasing a packet of mushrooms and cooking them, because the tongue is the organ which produces that terrific craving. So why not omelets from turtle, Oliver Ridley turtle eggs? Why not tiger tail soup? Why not jumping chicken, the fried tandoori jumping chicken? Because if you say that this is all wrong, then even consumption of this species which you cannot cultivate, the only scientist in human history, the only researcher in human history who could artificially produce this mushroom in taste tube is me. And I have not published it because my guide said, don't give this, you patent it. But I decided that only when I can artificially produce it, just like button mushroom, I will patent it just by producing it in a petri plate or a flask or anything. It's not worth patenting, so I am still holding it back. The whole knowledge of how to make it fruit, but who is going to use it by just making it fruit? My PhD student also has done it recently. She said, sir, eat fruits. Your culture, which is 30 years old, still fruits in test tube and produces a baby tuberculosis mushroom. Imagine the only scientist in the world who has done this breakthrough, which big countries couldn't do, is here talking to you in absolutely such a humble sense that other multinational companies and all would have made a big thing about it. The reason is, this is not the only thing we can do. We can do thousands of things in Goa if we conserve what exists. That is what Edward O. Wilson said in 1992. That is the year of Rio de Janeiro, that is the year of Earth Summit, Rio de Janeiro, when Convention on Biodiversity was signed by many countries. India was a signatory, and out of which came in 2002, and we had actively lobbied for it along with Vijay Paranjape, and the most central person behind the Biodiversity Act. I can write a whole book about how first draft we prepared, second draft we prepared, and then the final draft went to Parliament because earlier there was no BMCs. We put the BMCs there. I was part of that committee which made the amendment for BMCs. And the credit goes to Dr. Ashish Kothari alone and Dr. Madhav Gadgil. These two people have worked to see the Biodiversity Act of 2002. And under that act now, my own bread and butter is this. I am going to put the whole essence of life in front of you. Next slide, please.